sis whatever me mama nomndeni wami ngiyakaphinda futhi sihlupheke lapho ngizovela khona uyaqaba isikhathi sokukhuphuka nedrip yami iyaqosa and iphuma ke so then I stay down and I pave the way for my dreams. I'm safe. Dream bigger than fair. All my dreams are safe. Running on my lap, ain't no going back. Don't tell me no. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dream bigger than fair. Oh my God. Hey, dream bigger than fair. Oh my God, he's safe. Dream bigger than fair. Oh my God, let's go. Hey, dream bigger than fair. Oh my God. Dream bigger than fair. And you know I'm a bomb and say I got bullets inside my head, but I shoot at my dreams instead. I'm playing the give and take. I'm where long is already rich. Don't tell me no about my kid. What's that to me? Huh? Dream, dream, dream. You dream. Dream, dream, dream. Can't say I could baby so dead. Hey, dream, dream, dream. Thanks to God, I'm a dozy. I get on the stage, I make it loud. I'm feeling my I'm bigger now. Dream bigger than fair. Oh my God. Dream bigger than fair, oh my God, we saved. Dream bigger than fair, oh my God, let's go. Dream bigger than fair, oh my God. Yeah, let's go. Guys, this one we all know we stand up. I'm about to perform my track, Humble Saint We Up. It's actually a remake by MT, so let's stand up, let's do this. Long live K Master the Danger. Yeah! Yeah. How you hate me, dog? You don't even know me, dog. Came from the trenches, you know it was stuck. Believe in myself and not I'm a guy. Using my eyes a light. My tunnel has never been dark, hey. Having this courage from young age. I've been moving, feeling like an OG. You ain't know me, you ain't met me. I knew my future, didn't need a sample. I had to trust the process from the ghetto. Took it to the city, now we living wild. Money again, I'm not so I'm humble enough, saying not a problem. I get up, I'm gonna do it, I'm home now. One up on hour, then we get a problem. Uyakumbula mngani wami besithathela phansi kade basihlela umona basasihlela umona cause we up, hey, and we up, hey, and we up basasihlela umona and we up, and we up basasihlela umona. I've been hurting, hey, life been testing, hey, lost my dog, he was my age, shit, can't imagine, hey, how did it happen, hey, I'm no blame God, but how could it happen, hey, school drive straight to the chest, don't know who really did it, hey, so many thoughts in my head, can't find peace, no clutch, hey, remember days who was chilling, talking about dreams, that's different, hey, now I can't reminisce, I'm all alone, I miss a nigga. Uyakumbula mngani wami besithathela phansi kade basihlela umona basasihlela umona cause we up, we been up, and we up basasihlela umona cause we up, and we up, and we up basasihlela umona. Give it out for your boy Humble Saint. Let's do it again. Thank you, everybody. So affect, you can find me in all digital platforms. Just write Humble Saint, but replace our Uyungo X, HXMBLESAINT, Humble Saint, all digital platforms. Thank you, guys. I love you. Yeah. Let's do this.
Give it up for Humble Saint. Give it up for Humble Saint. Give it up for Humble Saint.
How are you guys doing this morning? Khutaba monate today, Shem. Khutaba mo. Thank you very much. I just need 2 people to come and dance with me here on stage. Come on, just 2 people. Thank you so much for coming through, guys. I go by the name of Bougie Bikwa, and I'm your MC for the day. It's quite an honor being with you. I am so excited because I know what Empower Youth means, because this is how some of us started. For those who don't know, kids are Orange Farm. Grew up in Orange Farm, went to Ahatu Secondary School. So I know they're usually mistaken Valley Orange Farm. Rintoy or Hosakalang? Rintoy sort of Harry Champas Kontirki 016, other side 011. Yeah, so I am here today as your MC, guys, and I'm quite honored. I don't want to lie. It means a lot being here, being a child who's from the township, raised in the township, and who started his success in the township. For those who don't know, you think that these sessions are not worth it. Trust you me, they mean everything, because they have shaped my life to be the better person, and sometimes, yes, the bad person. But we live and we learn. And with that being said, I'll just like us to have some fun. Enough of me talking. And I need a banger of a song, DJ. King Katrulishai. King Katrulishai. Alone. That's what I'm talking about. Another one. Okay. I want to see how this one is going to go now. So some of us are not really that amazing at the TikTok dances, right? Yo, I love that song. Yes. That's the one. Can you please all stand up, please? This is how we say good morning. Happy Wednesday, Val. What's the chum? What's Emma Pagatin? What's hey. What's Omnig. Give them a round of applause. Thank you so much, ladies. That was beautiful. So I always say that when we have, I'm a foot, I need a breather. Yeah. So I always say, when you start something in your life and you want to grow, the growing is very uncomfortable. The seasons are very uncomfortable. And we are living in the era of social media that makes us even do uncomfortable things to be relevant. People want the frontals, you know? So we're in a generation whereby it's hard for you to start from humble beginnings, because people expect you to already have those things as you go. But the reason why you guys are here is because you're not afraid of those humble beginnings. Give yourselves a round of applause. You are not afraid of those humble beginnings. It matters the most that you chose to be here. Who's been here since Monday? Since Monday. Serious? Okay, maybe you must get an award, but not from me. I'll see. I think give yourselves a round of applause for committing and committing to your future. It really means a lot. That's beautiful. And to those who just joined us today, where are you? Has anyone just joined us today? I'm going to take you guys to church in Ansugumeni, Ngenyawo. Ansugumeni, if your first day here, please stand up. Ngiqala izandla. Kumnandi ukubalana. It's nice to be here. Thank you so much for coming through, guys. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully, you guys are going to be with us till Friday, right? Is that a simple commitment that we're making? Are you guys sure? So, just to share a little secret with you, I went for financial planning. And this happened 2 weeks ago. There was a camp, it's called the Financial Masterclass. So, when you go for financial planning, do you have insurance? What's your life cover looking like? Do you have kids? I came out that weekend being the brokest man of them all. Because we think that finance is about what we have now, but we don't have anything that we're working on towards with what do we have. How many of you here, Linali insurance, fella, if you die, when you die, khona le masingcwabane. Lisho? Re tla be re etsa mo bopotong pate, a rena taba. Because these are things that we never think about as young people, and we always think that we have enough time, things are gonna, and unfortunately, it doesn't work that way, you know. And with that being said, I'd like to call this amazing man who's with us today from MMC, Public Works, EmpowaYouth Local Municipality. I'd like to call Tumi Mochawe. A round of applause, please. Okay, as we wait for Tumi Mochawe, I'd like to call the guy that will be facilitating for the day. I'm sure you guys know him very well. He'll be joining us on stage and making sure that we have beautiful conversations. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the City FM, please welcome Thabo Mokone!
Dumelang. Le sharp. Asefugafal. I am on Lebatle, man. Thank you so much, Buji. I'm going to be a facilitator today, and I'm banking on you guys. On the two topics that we're going to discuss later, I want you guys to hit hard, ask questions, help us to get solutions. But I'm very proud of you guys, Bachabakoval, coming in numbers. I heard on Monday, Nelele Bangat, and I've seen some of you saying you've been here from Monday. Give yourselves a big round of applause for that. You know why I'm proud to Nelele more from Monday? It is because we've just seen a video now of such event happening in Orange Farm and Elboni Notletsijwa. And Elboni the results. Again, some young people have just spoken on the videos to say, Ibasibeli this thing. I know a few of us from this week, I feel, our lives are going to change again. And if one life changes, who change again? It takes one life to change, community, the village, then the province, then the whole country, then Renaleba Chabashap again. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy to be with you today, but I'm banking on you, please. Listen carefully, when we come and discuss Ki kopa ki shebile lona. Ask those questions. Contribute. I don't want you to come here for the whole week. Go back home. Usa gaina next. I don't want that to happen. This is an opportunity for a lifetime. Let's make use of it. Say, aye, fala, aye. Where's Bushi? Oh. Bushi!
Thank you so much. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Thabo Mokoni one more time. And it's shocking how you started, right? Do they know your journey? Should I tell them? TET FM, right? So before, by the way, Thabo, I've got beef with that. So Thabo started at TET FM, Orange Farm, one of the biggest. Sorry about that, guys. We had to rearrange the gangline. So, continuing my story, Thabo was part of a local community radio station called TET FM. So, I went on audition for the same radio station, and then Barukonaki was too much. So, abang bat because I can't relate to people. Thabo, that time, he's the superstar of the show. But let me tell you what happened. I became famous first. And on my journey, when I was at YFM, this amazing man made it to Lesedi FM as one of the biggest geniuses to celebrate till today. A round of applause, please. A round of applause. So, labana hore modimo wa phela. O re rata kaofela. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call Abina Muriri. Ladies and gentlemen, Abina Mariri. A round of applause, please.
Thank you for massacring my last name there. Let me take this opportunity to express a word of gratitude to all of you. Let me recognize EmpowaWorks, in particularly Mr. Simpiwe Masiza, the visionary behind how we gather and what we do here. My name is Abna, and also recognize my platform associates and to all the political leadership that is here. I honor you, sir, and thank you kindly. My name is Abna Mariri. I won't be long. I'll be very brief and very short. And look at your neighbor on your left and right. Please tell them you are simply the best. And just give them a Colgate smile. I just want to appreciate, the MC. Thank you, sir, for navigating this program. I know it's materially not easy. I was born and bred in a township called Kwatema in the East Rand. Left this country, I think, in 1982, went underground, ended up in the place called the US, and stayed there for approximately 13 years. And I studied and graduated from an institution of higher learning called UCLA with economics and political science. There's an African saying that says, "Oos wes stays best," that you never truly appreciate your country until you go miles away. And for me, having left the country and gone outside, I began to appreciate it from the outside. And I thank God for the likes of the late Nelson Mandela, who basically, when he came invited by the United Nations, and we were hauled as those who had studied at various institutions of higher learning, hauled and told it's time to go back home. It wasn't easy. I was the first one in my family to graduate from an institution of higher learning. 3 things I do today, just to give a context before I share a little message of hope. The first thing that I do is I have an agent who markets my services as a speaker, and I have a privilege to see the beauty of the continent, to traverse and to speak to various groupings, even across the continent of Africa. So I get paid for what I do, even though today I said to Masiza, we do our own contribution and make sure that we give back to the community that groomed us. So, number two, my heart and soul has always and is always manufacturing. I think it was Karl Marx who said we need to control the means of production. And for me, having left the country, came back, I decided one of the things that I want to do is to be involved in manufacturing. And I remember very well, long time ago, I got an opportunity to buy into a company today is called Avenge Manufacturing, but at the time it was Infraset and Duraset, and I bought 50% of a factory that manufactured concrete sleepers. And when you ride on Gautrain today, 50% of those concrete sleepers I manufactured from the art. So I had to understand the value chain of what it means. At the time at Transnet, it was Purnet then. Mafika Mkhonazi was the group chairman, and when the writing was clearly on the wall that affirmative action was no longer enough, what is enough is broad-based black economic empowerment, I was there. And the opportunity came. And somebody once said that it is better for me to be prepared to have an opportunity and not have one, rather than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. So today, opportunities are galore. The extent to which you are prepared, it will determine whether you succeed or you fail. So today is a platform for you to open your eyes, to expand your horizon, to seize the opportunities at your disposal, and never let an opportunity pass you by. Because at the counter of success, there are no bargains. You have to pay the price in full, and you must pay it in advance. So when you come to these gatherings, make sure you don't come with friends. If you've got friends, say, I'll see you during lunch. I'm going to interact and network with other people because I've got a destiny to achieve. And I've got a future to go through. So you'll be happy to know that since then, it's amazing in the manufacturing sector. Actually, I've got a factory here in Vereeniging, and we manufacture what is called industrial insulation material. Basically, we melt rock at high temperature. We take dolerite, dolomite, slag, coke, and we melt it together at 1,600 degrees. What basically comes out is a product called insulation, and we effectively, when they build boilers, at the likes of Sasol and power stations. So when there's a shutdown, I was listening to the news coming down here, and I hear that maintenance is coming through. I smile when they talk maintenance, because when they put maintenance down, that means they've got to take the old insulation and put my product on there and stuff like that. And when you are on the R59, you can see our factory there. I worked for 5 years at the factory and retired and went into business with my late partner who died last year, Hamilton Ratsefula, who basically was the group CEO of IBM and subsequently went to run Gijima. And unfortunately, when he passed away, he was reporting directly to Robert. So we are bullish about this country. Black child, it's possible. It's your future. It's your destiny. And you've got to arrest it. The last thing, and of course, you know, Triofen, a whole number of factories that we're looking at. But by and large, the last thing, I run a foundation called Joint Development Power Foundation, and I'm a recovering drug addict. I was addicted to drugs for 5 years, and my drug of choice was crack cocaine, ecstasy, and alcohol. And at the height of everything, I mixed everything. I was a junkie in denial. And I'm grateful to the likes of the late Huma Sikela and a friend, good friend, Lebo M, who took me to my first rehab. And but unfortunately, I relapsed inside that rehab. Came out, went to the second rehab, I relapsed and went to my third for almost 9 months. I went to go and try and recover my life from the clutches of addiction that almost took my life. And today, tall and proud, I'm standing 12 years clean under my belt, and I'm grateful. So, I wrote a book, and my book is called The Door, and you've got a story to tell. I wrote 309 pages on my journey with addiction. I launched it, and when I launched it, I went to Melrose Arch, and I used to, Lebo M was an alcoholic, and I was a druggie, and I launched it at Melrose Arch, and I brought the guys like Kabelo Mabalane, Thibaut Touch, just to make noise around the issue of substance abuse, Dumantlovu from Movango, and I gave it to a young man I remember I came here, the first batch of books, I came to Orange Farm and I saw a seed of 100 books to young people. And so far, from the boot of my car, I sold 2,500 copies of these books. On Friday last week, I got a special order from the Department of Social Development, purchase order, fully signed for 400 copies of this book. So what became misery is now a blessing. So I wrote this book. It's the only copy I have. So I will ask the MC to give it to a deserving child. And in that book, I've got a beautiful poem, which is an inspiration for me all the time. And it's called My Name is Cocaine. My name is Cocaine, call me Coke for short. I entered this country without a passport. Ever since then, I made lots of scum rich. Some have been murdered and found in a ditch. I'm more valued than diamonds, more treasured than gold. Use me just one time and you too will be sold. I'll make a schoolboy forget his books. I'll make a beauty queen forget her looks. I'll take a renowned speaker and make him a bore. I'll take your mother and make her a whore. Once I take charge, you won't have a prayer. Now that you know me, what will you do? It's all up to you. The day you agree to sit in my saddle, the decision is one that no one can straddle. Listen to me and please listen to me well. When you ride with cocaine, you are headed for hell. And that's in the book. So now we've developed, it's amazing, we've developed a little podcast that's coming. I partnered with Togozani from 405 Media and for Newsroom, and we've got a podcast going, and we want to hit this country by storm and make sure that we retrieve the lives of young people from the clutches of addiction that almost took their lives. Now, my presentation here, very simple. Look at your neighbor, say, make it happen. No, tell them, say, make it happen. Okay. A beautiful story has been told, and I won't take long. A beautiful story has been told, and it is a story of an eagle and a chicken. One day, an eagle lost an egg, and as fate would have it, the chicken found the egg. Like any concerned parent, the chicken took the egg home, and it sat on it, and it gave it the love and the warmth and the care of an incipient mother. 2 weeks later, that egg hatched, and out stepped a beautiful eagle. That eagle had eagle genes. It had eagle chromosomes. It had eagle power, and it had eagle potential. But because it grew up in chicken surroundings, that eagle lost a sense of personal identity. It wanted so much to look like the chickens in the barnyard. And interestingly enough, the chickens in the barnyard, they knew the identity of this eagle. So the chickens had a chicken bosperat and imbizo, a private meeting independent of the eagle. And they began to discuss amongst themselves as chickens and said, we've got to keep this eagle thinking it's a chicken, because the day it ever finds out it's an eagle, it will rule over us. So that eagle grew up with an inferior complex. At one stage, that eagle considered cosmetic surgery, going to the hospital, getting rid of its mighty, beautiful feathers so it can skip and jump like the eagles, like the chickens in the barnyard. But one day, telecommunications, that eagle was playing in the barnyard. And as it was playing, lo and behold, it gazed upward, and it saw a full adult eagle caught in full flight, navigating the yonder skies, and that eagle's mind in the barnyard was blown. And it said to itself, wow, I sure wish I could be like that. Well, that eagle in the sky perceived the dilemma in which this eagle in the barnyard was, and it flew right across time to come and wake this eagle up and said, boy, you are not a chicken, you're an eagle. Your eye was not meant just to look at the tree trunks, and your mighty paws were not, you are not a chicken, you're an eagle. Well, sometimes as I travel across the length and breadth of this country, I see nothing but eagles who've abdicated their responsibility to soar like eagles, and we've relegated ourselves to chicken citizenship. We play chicken games, have chicken dreams, develop little chicken ambitions. But with my little presentation here today, I've come to nudge you, to challenge you, to push you, to say it's time to soar once again. Because judging by the energy in this room, I believe strongly that you possess the capacity and the capability to achieve anything that you would like to achieve. Look at your neighbor on your left and right. Please tell them, I'm not a chicken, I'm an eagle. Please tell them. You see, in that story is a story of my life. Because at one stage, I felt my horizons were prefixed. I felt I could only achieve up to so far. And therefore, I literally wallowed in my shame and I drowned in my own misery. But somebody once said that only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. And my stars came when I came into contact with the writings of the late Stephen Bantu Biko, who wrote quite extensively. But in that book, he writes a theme that says, I write what I like. It was like I underwent a rediscovery of myself. I began to realize the old cliche was correct. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. So I'd like to humbly submit to you that if you can dream it as a young person, you can achieve it. So please repeat after me. Repeat after me, please. I'm just chasing time. Repeat after me. My situation. No, I can't hear you. My situation is not my destination, but my situation is my preparation. I want to allow that to sink for a little bit. One of my favorite shows has got to be nature shows, because in the nature shows they were chronicling the life of an eagle, and they said about an eagle, if an eagle loses one of its eyes, that eagle is as good as dead. But if both eyes are fully functional, when that eagle locks its particular eyes on a particular prey, there is absolutely nothing that could deter that eagle from reaching its destination. When you begin as a young person to begin to focus on what you want to achieve, doesn't matter the condition. You see, it is not your sense of entitlement that will usher you into greatness, but it is the struggle and the challenges that you overcome that will bring you into a place of preeminence and prominence. You are destined to do great exploits. You are destined to go far. So when we make it happen, we make it happen at 3 levels, and I take my seat. Number 1, you're going to make it happen at a personal level. You know, please repeat after me. Until, I can't hear you, until I know who I am, I cannot become all I was meant to be. So when you make it happen, you make it happen at a personal level. You see, Marcus Garvey, the father of Pan-African thinking, he says, up you mighty race, you're going to achieve what you will. But he turns around. He says, if you have no confidence in yourself, you are twice defeated in the race of life. But with confidence, you have won even before you get started. So when I make it happen, the first suspect in making it happen, it is a person called me. I cannot abdicate responsibility. You see, when we were growing up, the Honorable Deputy Minister Parks will tell you that we used to blame apartheid for everything. You know, apartheid, but please repeat after me. When you blame someone, you give up the power to change. So when you make it happen, you got to make it happen at a personal level. And I have discovered 3 reasons why most of us fail in life. 3 reasons. These are subjective, they are not mine. Number 1, I discovered that most of us fail in life because, number 1, we fail to plan. If you don't plan, you are bound to fail. I don't care who you are. I work in the corporate sector, in the corporate space. Now, corporates normally at every end of financial year, when the new year begins, they go to a boss parade and they begin to plan and say, this is 5 years, this is 2 years, this is 1 year. They've got short, medium, long-term plans. They put them in writing and they put them out there. So when you make it happen at a personal level, you've got to have short, medium term, you've got to have short term, medium term, and long-term goals, because you need to see. Now, you won't believe it. I grew up in a very poor family. Nerili 7 Kodladling, and I'm not unique because most of us come from situations like that. And I'm number 7 Kodladling. Timer was working in a factory. Magogo was a domestic worker. I was brought up by my grandmother, and my grandmother is the one who used to propel me and send me to school. And I never understood why this woman will send me to Bantu education school. But I later understood that my education was connected to my freedom. Are you with me? So when I make it happen, so I went overseas and I came back, first one in my family to graduate. I graduated from an institution of higher learning. When I came back 12 years later, my family says, we're going to throw a party for you. And please wear your gown. and I wore my gown, and it was a celebration. And in that party, after 12 years gone, my grandmother had died, the person that I loved the most. And everybody gave a speech, welcome back and stuff like that. My firstborn sister, Kochai, Auslal, he says, my brother, you have broken the cycle in our family of not going to school, and now you have a degree. You have encouraged me to go back to school. She was working as a clerk, 3 children, husband. By the time she retired with a master's in education. Why? She decided she was going to make it happen. Now when you come to our clan, when you come to our family, you'll find my cousin Opa, who's now a chief engineer at AXA, Airports Company of South Africa. You'll find Dumisane now, who's an engineer at Ford Motor Company. I was the first one to break the cycle. You will be the first one to break the cycle in your own family, and you will be the first one to become a millionaire. So this session is empowering you as a young person to make sure that you have a plan. When you leave here, when you go back, make sure. When I came back, there's something I used to have, and I go to take my seat. I used to have something called a dreams collage. I used to live in the township, nothing wrong kakasi, but I wanted to make sure that I better my family and my condition. So I will go to Sandton, and I will get to Sandton, I will drive around. I remember my first car was Kushesha, 16V and stuff like that. And I remember I dropped the suspension, put double exhaust, and even developed a little attitude in terms of driving that car. And I would go to Sandton, and I'll chill in Sandton, watch people and things like that. And I remember I put a car that I wanted to drive. And that car at the time, it was a 525 individual BMW. I put it in my dreams collage. And guess what? Every day when I woke up, I looked at my dreams collage, the things that I wanted to achieve. I began to look at them. You see, there's 2 kinds of pain in this world. There's a pain that I call a pain of regret, where you will say, I wish I had done this, I wish I had done this. Miles Monroe talks about the fact that the greatest wealthiest place in the world is in the graveyard, because there's many dreams people died with that were never realized because they were afraid to venture out. But today I've come to declare that you're going to venture out in your dreams. You're going to fulfill all your obligations that you need to fulfill. So you need to plan, because when you don't plan, you're going to fail. F-A-I-L. When you don't plan, you're going to be frustrated. Because you don't have a plan, you will always be frustrated. And when you are frustrated, the A, you will always be angry when you don't plan. And when you are angry, you will always be insecure. Insecure. Modi mohalite. Now, when you don't plan, the F, you are bound to be frustrated. The A, you will always be angry. The I, you will always be insecure. The L, you will always be lonely. My time is finished. I have so much to share. But let me say to you, as I take my seat, make it happen at a personal level. 2 days before he died, he went to a place called Memphis, Tennessee, to go and address garbage workers. He was literally inundated with invitations from the world. But he chose, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. chose to go and address garbage workers. And these are the words that he said as I take my seat. If it falls your luck to be a street sweeper, go out and sweep streets like Michelangelo carved marble. Sweep streets like Raphael painted picture. Sweep streets like Beethoven composed music and like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Sweep streets so well that the host of heaven and earth will have to pause and say, here lived the great street sweeper who swept his job well, close quote. Remember, if you cannot be a bush, just be a tree. If you cannot be a highway, just be a trail. If you cannot be the sun, just be a star. For it isn't by size that you win or you lose. Just be the best of whatever you can be, and go out and dream and be the best that you can be, because it's in you. Black child, it's possible. God bless you and thank you.
A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, please. Mr. Abner Mariri, that was beautiful. A round of applause one more time. Make some noise. I think after that, I don't want to spoil the mood. I don't know who I'm going to give this book to, but I would like to give it to someone who has been here from Monday, just to thank them for their consistency and willing to really learn and change their lives. So I see a couple of hands. I'll think about it. We're still together. So now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome please welcome the MMC, Vincent Jones.
Sanbonani. Dumelang. Are we all good? Let me see you wave if you are good this morning. That is just wonderful. Thank you so much, Program Director. And let us appreciate also the previous speaker, Abner Mariri. He has done an excellent job, didn't he? Let's give him a round of applause one more time. One of the things I love was a personal story, but also a personal story of failure. That he has had enough courage to come and share it with us. Somebody said, a leader is someone who opens his wounds so that his followers can find their healing in his wounds. And that's a book by Henry Nouwen entitled A Wounded Healer. That is just wonderful. And thank you so much. Thank you for coming once again this morning. It's just great to be here. Thanks to EmpowaWorks for the wonderful, wonderful platform that it has created for all of us. Now, it's another day, it's another great day, another day of great speakers. I do wish to convey an apology from the Executive Mayor of Sidibeng, Councillor Maluka Khatebe, Lerato Maluka. She is writing as we speak, and I do want to convey her apology. We have two deputy ministers among ourselves. I'm going to introduce one, and the other one is going to be introduced a little bit later. But Program Director, allow me to acknowledge the presence of the MMC for Basic Services in Mfuleni local municipality, Councillor Dumi Mchawe. Please stand and wave, Councillor. Good to see you. Good to see you. And once again, we have a great program director who will be acknowledging all the guests as time goes on. Angithi kunjalo ba. Ngingakhulumeli kanti. All right. Now we have an intellectual. We have a leader. We have someone who has proved himself not just as a leader, but also academically. The speaker holds a master's in public administration. He's a deputy minister of corporate governance and traditional affairs. He's been a mayor for just, I think, about 2 terms of Johannesburg Metro. And then, during those days, you wouldn't be just a mayor of Johannesburg Metro. You needed to have proved yourself to be able to occupy that position. But he actually did, and he did it excellently, until to a time when he got appointed as Deputy Minister of Kokta. So we are very privileged to have him in our midst today. So please take time, relax, take notes, okay? He's going to educate us but he's also going to tell us about the opportunities that are there. Because the theme of this conference, as you know, is to inspire, connect, and transform. So I want us to stand and let us give a thunderous but warm welcome to Deputy Minister Pakstow. Please let us welcome him, Deputy Minister. Welcome, sir.
It's non-compliant. Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Councillor Jones, for the introduction. Good morning to the organizers and all the participants. Of course, let me acknowledge my colleague, Deputy Minister Mahlalela, the MMCs here present, and all representatives of government. Of course, I was saying to my colleagues, the problem is that you speak after a motivational speaker, such as Abner, the standard is a bit too high. So we must drop the standard a bit, at least in terms of presentation. Otherwise, if you have the same expectation, we're already in trouble. But let me commend the organizers of Empower Youth Week for organizing this particular event or set of events that focus on opportunities for young people and exposing young people across the country, but in this instance, in Emfuleni, to opportunities available to young people and what you can do to better self and to better society. It is a particularly important effort taken by the organizers because sometimes the opportunity might be staring at you, but you might not be aware that this opportunity is staring at me because you do not interface with it as an opportunity. So getting a whole range of speakers to come here and share what they do, to share their experiences, and to essentially impart knowledge and expose you to various opportunities on its own creates a level of awareness where you can grab this and move forward. Of course, I should also acknowledge the young people. I saw there was earlier a question, how many of you have been here since Monday? And the vast majority of the participants have been here since Monday. Because in reality, unless you have own agency, the ability to say, I will stand up and look for the opportunity, it will not come knocking on your door. There are many young people that did not take advantage of this opportunity because they expect this opportunity to come knocking at their door. But you stood up, you took the effort, you woke up, you came through, and you said, I need to acquire the knowledge that creates a platform for me to identify what I can do, what opportunities are available, and how I can take advantage of them. And I thought just talking about Empower Youth, it would be also important to reflect on an area of development that we do not always take full advantage of and that is emerging as a new set of entrepreneurial development opportunities. And that relates to social enterprise and impact investment opportunities. Because when people look at industrial and commercial development, they do not look at social enterprise as an opportunity for their own growth. Or they do not look at impact investment as an area in which they can leverage capital and access to opportunity. Now, what am I talking about? Of course, when we're talking about social enterprise, We're talking about those people who take it upon themselves to mobilize resources so that they are able to impact on society, and they develop enterprises around their ability to impact on society. So organizations such as EmpowaYouth are social enterprises because they take it upon themselves to ensure that what they do to pursue their own aspiration and ambition is about pursuing the aspirations of others and empowering others as a means of facilitating their own growth. And of course, I also spoke about impact investment, which is an emerging sector or area of opportunity. In fact, the impact investment industry in the country is nascent, if you like, it's emerging as an industry that is taking shape in the country. The banks have now created sections that now focus on impact investment. So you're able to access financing from the banks and other investors in industries that are about impact. And impact investment could range from circular economy, recycling, renewing industries, sustainability, or the sort of industries that impact on society, on the environment, and on a whole range of other areas where you have social impact, economic impact, environmental impact, and sustainability. It is an emerging set of enterprises where, in fact, industry is beginning to say, these are the opportunities that we want to invest in. And part of our criteria for investing in enterprises is about the extent to which they make impact, not only to the profit margin of the entrepreneur, but also to society and societal challenges, including the environment and so on. But bringing it back to home, I thought it would be important to start by reflecting on an area at least I had done a bit of work in, particularly as you talk about Sidibeng as a district and the sort of opportunities that are emerging in Sidibeng. And that has to do with the initiative for the establishment of a special economic zone in the Vaal that's called the Vaal Special Economic Zone. Of course, when I served as the MEC for Economic Development in Gauteng, we started the process of establishing the Special Economic Zone, established the necessary institutional mechanisms to get us to the Special Economic Zone, but at the back of that, begin to apply for licensing. We're at a point now where, in fact, the Special Economic Zone is to become a reality because the licensing issues have been addressed. But what does that mean? To qualify as a special economic zone, it is important that you demonstrate that you have attracted anchor investors into the area of the special economic zone. So we can comfortably say that there are a set of anchor investors that have enabled Sidibeng as a district to be able to qualify for a special economic zone. It is also a unique special economic zone because it is non-contiguous. So it is not necessarily located in the same area. You have what is called a special economic zone. If you go throughout the country, you have it in a particular zone. So if you go to Tshwane, it is located in a particular space. If you go to Ekurhuleni or Tambo, it is located in a particular space. In this instance, you have a special economic zone that covers the 3 local municipal areas of the district. So you would have a component of the special economic zone in Mfuleni, in Midvaal, and in Lesedi. And they have different contributions to what economic opportunities are emerging. and what investors have been attracted to these special economic zones. But I wanted to discuss this from a slightly different angle. So we've established that, in fact, there are investors that will be coming. They range from those that have committed to green steel redevelopment, so taking advantage of the steel industry here, but steel industry of the future, that is green steel. So we've had commitments. We've had commitments in areas of cannabis, not matekwane, but cannabis. And the various opportunities ranging from textile to medicinal values to building industry, components of what cannabis can help us to produce. They include new energy development opportunities, particularly in the area of green hydrogen, so that you are able to produce different type of energy that propel us moving forward. So we have investors such as Sasol and mitochondria that have committed to investing in green hydrogen in the Sidibeng area. And these now become new industries. And these are new industries because they talk about opportunities of a different future. You know, I remember a few years ago trying to explain to colleagues that I now work with in the office, young people they were in a different office in the organization that I come from. So I explained to them that, you know, technology is evolving at such a fast pace that, in fact, very soon, we're not going to be using petrol to propel our vehicles. We are not going to need oil and petrol to propel our vehicles. And I also said to them, but we're also at a point where technology has evolved and we have autonomous vehicles. So you have new energy vehicles and you have autonomous vehicles. So these are battery-operated cars. They don't use petrol, they don't use diesel, they don't use oil. They use a battery. But these are also autonomous vehicles, meaning that, in essence, you get into the car, you sit in the back seat, and like you instruct Siri and you say, Siri, I'm going to Sandton, Connor Christine and whatever. And the car takes you there without a driver. Of course, the technology is already there. In fact, autonomous vehicles already exist. I have the privilege of serving on the board of the World Resources Institute Center for Sustainable Cities. And in one of the board meetings, we're discussing policies for autonomous vehicles. And after the meeting, I kind of said to my colleagues, you know, I come from South Africa, we're not there yet. Can we talk about mobility in Africa? Because we're already talking about mobility in the West and we are talking about autonomous vehicles. So why is it that, in fact, industries such as, or enterprises such as Sasol and mitochondria investing in green hydrogen in Sidibeng is so important? Because it redefines the role of this district as a contributor to new energy sources. And these new energy sources will propel our economy as a country going forward, because we live, as we are part of the global community of nations. And as part of the global community of nations, we are bound by international treaties. And part of these international treaties are about climate change. And countries and regions are making different commitments to climate change. So Europe, which is one of the areas, one of our major trading partners, and the United Kingdom have already said that by 2030, 2035, they are introducing policies that if your products are created by dirty fuels, we will tax every component of the dirty fuel. and your industry will not be competitive. Now, maybe for Deputy Minister Mahlalela and I, 2030 is a bit far. But for many of us as young people, 2030 is around the corner. It is the period in which I would be getting my degree. And it is this period in which, in fact, the world says, if you are going to sell us steel and you have produced it through coal, we are going to tax you for the coal that you used to produce the steel. If you are going to transport this steel from Johannesburg or from Gauteng to the port, whether it's Richards Bay, Durban, Gqeberha, and so on, if you take it to the port and you put it in a truck that is propelled by diesel, we are going to put extra taxes on the distance that it travels to get to the port. Or if the train that is there gets its electricity from a coal-fired power station, we are going to tax it as such. So we're redefining this area as the center from which we will produce energy that is energy of the future, that will propel the economy of the future. But why is this important for us? Because not all of us will be entrepreneurs that participate in these sectors. This is where we, at least in my opinion, should be thinking about positioning ourselves in different areas. If we know what is going to happen in our economy, is this not where we should be generating the skills to be able to participate in the economy? Because if you go to school and you are going to learn a particular set of technologies, and the future technologies are different, then your qualification technically becomes obsolete. So if you think about the opportunities that are brought about by the special economic zone, by the initiatives around the Vaal River City, aquaculture being agriculture in fish, the production of fish, aquaculture and so on. It means that we need to acquire a different set of skills to be able to participate in this economy of the future. So if we are going to be the center of producing, for purposes of industry, green energy, do we have the skills in Sidibeng to take advantage of those opportunities? And what are the opportunities for me as an individual to participate in these sectors? And that for me is the sort of homework at the back of the input that you should do, to say, so what is this special economic zone? What industries are coming to us? And therefore, what skills do I require to participate in this economy? So if you use my example earlier, if we are moving in the direction of autonomous vehicles, then maybe you don't need a driver's license. You know, of course, autonomous vehicles are still complex from a regulatory point of view, because who takes accountability? So there are all sorts of regulatory problems. But it's driven by artificial intelligence. At school, ChatGPT. So we understand the principle of artificial intelligence. So these cars are driven through artificial intelligence. It is able to determine where the other cars are, where it should move, what direction, what is the slowest, what is the correct speed, what is the best route, what are the best safety features, and so on. But I'm just making an example of this to simply say, and I'm not suggesting you don't need a driver's license, because there are all sorts of regulatory issues that we're going to deal with. So you still need your driver's license. But I'm just saying, if you think about the future where you don't need a driver's license. And if you say, my ambition is to be a driver, already you know that your ambition is reaching a dead end very soon. Bayabona bashana. O tlo fella mo tseleng because a re sa batla di-drive. So think about these as opportunities into the future, but also think about value chain participation. I always say to people, you know, when you explain broad-based Black economic empowerment, people don't always understand what it means. Because broad-based Black economic empowerment is not just about the big deals. It's not just about acquiring shares in a big company for Black people that might be connected or identified and took advantage of the opportunity. It is equally about the responsibility of those industries to invest in the skills. Sorry. So if there are investors that are coming here, part of their obligation is to invest in the skills in that sector. And therefore, the obligation government imposes on them is to ensure that they train people in the appropriate skills of that sector. So you can take advantage of skills development linked to broad-based Black economic empowerment. But it is also about employment equity. Because broad-based Black economic empowerment says that you shall have a particular quota of Black people that must be appointed at the different levels of your organization. Middle management, senior management, executives, they must also participate in the technical skills that are required. So it is an obligation for these enterprises to find and appoint Black people that can participate at different levels. And in government, sometimes we hear them saying, but we can't find them. So you can't find Black people in South Africa, it shouldn't be possible. And you can't tell us you can't find Black people that have particular skills because we're not in, we're not in South Africa of 1994, where you would say particular skills have not been acquired by Black people. So you should be able to find them, and you should be able to groom them into different levels of your organization. But it's also about enterprise and supplier development. It is the obligation of these enterprises to ensure that they procure services from qualifying Black enterprises. This could be youth-owned enterprises, women-owned enterprises, people with disability. These are qualifying Black-owned enterprises that need to participate in the value chain. So for you, you could sit and say, so who is going to supply these people with these components of what their industry needs? And is there a niche and opportunity for me to take advantage of? Because you know what they are going to need, you already plan, and you work on the basis that they are obliged to ensure that they procure from us. So instead of waiting till the last day, we should work towards planning upfront and knowing with our municipality what are the opportunities in these industries across the board so that we are able to prepare ourselves to participate in the enterprise and supplier development opportunities. Sorry. But that's not just about the industries that are coming in the SEZ. It is also about the industries that exist here and now. We see many industries across the country. And you go to different regions and people say, yeah, but they are taking people from a different province and bringing them here. But it's because the local people do not know where the opportunities are. So it is important that we work with our municipalities and with industry across the board to understand where are the opportunities, so that we don't complain about opportunities not being made available when in fact these opportunities exist. We know upfront where the opportunities are and where we can participate. As I conclude, I would want to say, of course, there are various other opportunities. The country has entered into various agreements. Some of these are agreements in terms of the partnership on Africa, the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, and trade into Africa and where the opportunities are. Some of this has to do with BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, and now it has expanded. So it creates a new set of opportunities for industry in the country. But we've also concluded a number of master plans in various industries. So on the basis of your own interest, whether it is in the cultural sector, whether it is in the steel industry, whether it's in logistics, you can look at the master plan and you would be able to find the opportunity that you can take advantage of. I thought I should take this opportunity to take us through where we should look and not necessarily give us all the tools, because I didn't have all the time to share every single opportunity available, but simply to direct where we must look. And because you're already here, it demonstrates you've already got agency. All I'd want you to encourage to do is to look in the right places, and you will certainly find. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause once again for Minister Parkstow, all the way from Cogta. So we'd like to allow 2 questions, please, for him. Sure. I see one there. I see one over there. Okay.
Hello. You spoke about impact investment, so I wanted to know what that means, and sustainability. What does it mean for sustainability and how it affects our environment? Secondly, you spoke about the special economic zone. What is that? What is the function, and how will it help young black women in South Africa? Thirdly, you spoke about autonomous vehicles. How do you think autonomous vehicles will affect the greater economy of the country and the continent at large? Which society and which class in the society will this affect both positively and negatively? How are we preparing for this tech future? What are the necessary skills development that the government are willing to implement to ensure that young black women will be able to participate in this economy? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sir?
Well, thank you very much. I was still trying to make notes. The first is to comment about the area of impact investment. There are companies that are currently looking for enterprises to invest in, which enterprises are in areas that make an impact in society. So you could look at battery technologies, new technologies in battery, because they are going to reduce the impact of climate change and greenhouse gas emissions. You could talk about industries such as circular economy, where essentially they say cradle to cradle. A product that is used in one industry, when it's supposed to become waste, becomes an entry product into a new industry. It could also be a specific topic as recycling, reuse and renew. I always say part of the problem we have in Emfuleni is about waste management, MMC. But the reality is, do we have to take our waste and throw it into a landfill site? Or can we join many parts of the developed world? In fact, waste is used across its value chains, it's recycled, it's renewed, and you create industry around it, including generating electricity from waste. So impact investors are looking for those sort of enterprises of the future. In relation to autonomous vehicles, the policy environment has not evolved. The technology is there, the policies are behind. So the cars already exist, but policies are not there to match what the cars should do. Also because artificial intelligence has not reached the levels of comfort for everybody to work with. What skills do you require? It is skills in areas such as artificial intelligence. And we've started areas where we specialize. We have specialized schools in areas such as artificial intelligence and so on. I suspect that was the last. The special economic zone is a zone where there are tax incentives and other incentives for particular industries to develop. And in the Valley, we've identified areas such as steel, cannabis, aquaculture, and logistics as part of the industries that would be investing here. And they would be able to get tax incentives to be located in a special economic zone. Thank you.
Very much. Please give him a round of applause, please. Deputy Minister Park Stow, all the way from Cocter, thank you so much. We'd like to close it there because we're running out of time, but please just write them down. And I'd like to call the management, please, to come and take pictures with us, please. Basheleni izandla bahle labo sisi. Would like to also thank the MMC, Mr. Vincent Jones, for that beautiful welcome. A round of applause one more time. Thank you so much, Mr. Park Stow, Deputy Minister of Cocter. So now, that being said, earlier on we spoke about our finances, right? I went to a financial masterclass that made me realize, Hori, actually you are broke, and if you're to die today, family, how you the TV, the sofa, the fridge, when next. You haven't planned properly for your future, and it's quite embarrassing for someone who has done well for themselves, to be honest. I mean, I've been in the entertainment industry for the age of 21, and I haven't made money. You know, I did Maraki Shafunil. So now those are hard lessons that I'm learning in my 30s to say proper savings could be put into place. And I'd like to call this amazing young man. He has been honored as one of the Mail and Guardian Top 200 Young South Africans in 2021. And I'm excited because I was part of that list in 2020. And a Junior Chamber International, 10 Outstanding Young Persons of South Africa 2020, and Inside Education Top 100 South African Shining Stars 2020 for his work in changing financial destinies through financial education. So, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to call the one and only Mlamuli Mbambo.
Thank you, fellow Guardian.
Thank you. Yes.
It's a beautiful list. Oh, thank you so much. Yes. Presentation, is it coming up? Kumnando Gubala. It's nice to be here. Amen, amen. All right, so that's a dashing gentleman over there. I'm joking, it depends on your taste. All right, so when I come up, people usually think, finance, ne? That boring topic, right? That intimidating thing. Is it a bit scary, right? Huh? Ibuhlungu. No, it has that effect, right? So, who won the spelling bee at school? Ubani okwazi oh, siyabonga bhuti. Can you read up here, please? Can we give him a mic, please, just quickly? He's there. He's from Los Angeles, apparently. Iskipha bhuti. Ukhohliwe yini ukuthi sibhalweni? Let's go.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, sir.
In the money game, there are 3 types of people: spectators, referees, and the players. Most people are spectators.
All right, thank you very much. Round of applause, round of applause, round of applause. All right, so my book has this extract in it. And what we find is that 95% of people are just watching this money game thing. They're not really participating, right? You are here because you want to be players in your financial destinies and your financial futures. Right or right? True or true? Excellent. But if you don't know the rules of a game, what are the chances of you winning it? Very low, right? So I'm going to touch on some principles, some nuggets that move most people from being spectators in the money game to being players in the money game. And for those of you who are wondering who are the referees, so like the referees are the middle class, right? And they're just looking at this thing like, oh no, it's not fair, I work so hard, right? But don't want to learn different things in order to become players in the money game. Cool. So the call is called Change Your Financial Destiny, right? And when I use destiny intentionally because this is a marathon. It's not a sprint, right? It's not Forex. Some will know Forex promises millions over a weekend. It doesn't happen, guys. If you're trying to achieve that, it means you did not put your stop loss, which means you'll lose all your money anyways. Those in Forex will know what I'm saying. All right, so let's go. So who can tell me the 3 R's of education? And whoever can wins themselves a copy of my book. Who knows the 3 R's of education for a copy of the book? You all went to school, so what were the 3 R's in school? What do we do in school, guys? We read, yes, reading is one. We write. How? R. Okay, but now okay, all right, so, okay, you've got rights, right? Yeah, if you can give me the second one, then you win it. She has to say it. Huh? Okay, we'll find another book one because different people, it's supposed to be one person gets all 3. So well done. It does not have to start with an R. Right? Reading, writing, arithmetic. There's something called a poetic license, right? I used to do poetry, Black Sunday, we were black someday, type of thing, right? So the poetic license, you can skip certain rules. So this is what we did in school. And as you can see, I had academic colors. Basically means I passed very well. But there's something I didn't learn in school. What do you think it is? How to make money, right? I was taught to get good grades and then find a good job. But I thought, you know what, maybe in varsity I'm going to learn this money thing. Sorry, volume up a bit. How many cents in 1 rand? How many cents in 1 rand? 10. 100. 100, 10. Who says 50? 10. I love it, I love it, I love it. All right. So what this proves is that you can go to university, this was after orientation week, and not know how many cents are in 1 rand. If you're wondering, the answer is 100. Yes, feel good. Yes, you got it right, my brother. Right, but it shows the lack of financial education in schools. And I used to be at Standard Bank. Okay, sorry. So I used to be at Standard Bank as a business analyst, right? And I was in credit rehab. And there were engineers there. There were teachers there. And lo and behold, there were chartered accountants there. Chartered accountants, guys, you would think you would know this money thing, right? So I've got a degree in finance, and there's a big difference between getting your degree in finance and personal finance. And I discovered that the hard way because I chose to buy a GTI. Golf GTI 5. Yeah, masculine one, love it, right? So what I'm saying to you is this is something that unfortunately not many of us know, but we get the money and then we mess it up. Now, when you talk about financial education, people are like, yeah, he's going to tell me not to drink Jacobs and I must have coffee, right? Or don't have rooibos and have, what's that? Trinco, yes. My grandmother loved Trinco. She was like, I rooibos in, you know? So, but no, that's the one side of the equation, right? That's the saving, discipline, some would say a bit depressing side of finance, right? But there's a magical side of this equation. And that's where you can increase your means. Everyone talks about living below your means, but they don't really talk about increasing your means. And here's an example of a client. So when she came to me, she was frustrated because it was COVID and she did not get much of a salary increase. And we started doing the work together, right? And she had an issue called black tax. I don't like the term. I think you're just helping your family out, but that's what the issue is called, right? And I said, okay, when it's your gogo and your mkulu, size kaya, guys, you literally would not exist without them. Basis, right? But if you have cousins who are kind of like in your age bracket, give them a hand up and not a hand out, right? So what she did, she went to Small Street. How many of us know Small Street? By show of hands? All right, cool. I'm in the right place. So she went to Small Street and she bought some clothes. Yabo lengubo lezi oyisithatha. Yeah, I'm at Tunusa or something. Right, so she went and got those clothes, sent them back to escort to her cousins, and guess what they do today? Now they don't call her for money. They send her money and ask for restock. Right? So she sorted that side of the world. Because once you work in, I'm from Durban, KZN, right? So once you sebenza le Goli, hey, everyone in KZN assumes you've got millions. It's a thing. All right, and then, funny enough, Mr. Tao mentions cannabis and hemp. So she remembered that ugogo used to plant cannabis. But she now plants hemp back home, and they sell hemp oil products under a leased license. So licensing is very difficult to get right now. You need quite a lot of money, but there's a way around it where you just partner with someone who already has the license, right? That holds true for many business transactions. So she did that, and now she's in the hemp business. You can go to her Instagram page. It's maisha.hempcpdall. So if you struggle with sleeping and have some anxiety and exams are coming kind of thing, see, I'm promoting her now, right? Some people are going to buy it. Cool. And just for, once you learn the rules and you learn the game, you then just start playing it, right? So then she said, what might I also do? So now they've also, and notice as in she built a money team. You don't have to do it alone. So we also started a body and care perfume business, which has 4 resellers, 7 wholesalers. Besides South Africa, they have a presence in Swaziland, Lesotho, and Zimbabwe. Do you think she's worried about a little insy-binsy salary increase anymore? No, she's making way more. And now that is blocked by the chairs, and I know this though. She is still employed as an IT business analyst in a big firm, but she's getting promoted quicker because now she understands the value she brings to the organizations and knows how to communicate it. Some would call it an entrepreneur. They get promoted faster than just a chilled employee, right? So that is being financially literate, not avoiding Jacobs and having coffee. Get it? All right, so let me teach some of the things that me and her did in the coaching and in the workshop. All right, so I believe these are the three foundational wheels of money. This is where everything starts, right? Because as I said, I've seen chartered accountants, I've seen doctors and surgeons, all of them, some of them, sorry, when credit review, debt review, basically struggling with money. So it's not an issue of how much was coming into their bank account, because we can appreciate that they earn quite well, right? But the thing is, when you don't know what money is and you don't know these three wheels, sometimes it doesn't matter how much you make. How many of us have seen I blew it? Yes, these people had 10 million, had so many millions, but they blew it because they did not address this. So, what is money? I'll summarize. Money, if I want to know something, I always try to look at where it started, right? So the genesis of money was back in the day when I had something and I wanted something else, I would exchange it with you, right? Good sir, how are you? Looking very clean, very proper. Can I give you my book and you give me your phone? Absolutely. We can make the trade. All right, so you see his hesitance. He doesn't want to make the trade, right? So he does not think that this book is worth the same value as his phone, right? Because if he did, he would make the exchange. Can I give you this book for a pen? How? Right? But most people would give me a pen and then I'd give them the book. Because we have this thing of, we're judging this thing. You only part with your money when you think what you're getting is worth more than just keeping the money in your pocket. So that's how we started with bartering. But now the problem with that is, imagine if I have land and I want to exchange with the village baker. It's going to be tedious. So we've wanted to find a common store of value. Some tribes use shells, others use feathers, others used different things. Until the world settled on gold. And then money was based on gold. Okay, so ngakhule mlazi mina, and I remember gazette, we avoided gazette ngoba gazette mohambe ugqoka icathulo ezinhle ungeke ubuye usigqokile lezo icathulo, right? So what could be the possible challenge of if you have gold and you're going through gazette, what might happen? Izosala lapho, they'll steal it, right? So in these days, it was the desert and the forest, and robber barons were stealing it. So what they said was, let me take a piece of paper, and then let me write 2 ounces of gold, 3 ounces of gold, and then I give it to Buji, right? And then instead of Buji coming back to me to get the gold, he then just gave it to Nono, and then he gave it to, and no one was actually collecting the gold. And that's how we actually had paper currency. That's how you now have the money thing. This is how we got there, right? But in the 1970s, until the 1970s, you could literally go to the Reserve Bank and get some ounce of gold. It was on your note. But America took us off the gold standard, and now money is based on an idea. It's based on trust. I trust that if I give you this 100 rand, I can go and get something that I really want, right? So that's what money is. Now, you can have the Bitcoin debate and whatever debates you want to have and like sound really smart and all of that kind of stuff, but I don't see us changing it in our lifetime because there is a debate for it. Is it fair, is it not, whatever. Doesn't really matter. You must try to live in a place where you know what you have a locus of control over. So if a system has been set up, the real question is, how can I work within that system? Don't try to theorize it, and I did economics, you're like, but don't do that. See how you can work with it, right? So the real question in that first wheel is, what does money follow? Because if I want money, I must have a good idea what money follows. So can tell me what money follows, you get a copy of the book. Who can tell me what money follows? And guys, please think basic English. My answers are very simple. What does money follow? Well done, sir. It follows value. Very well done. Thank you, sir. Guys, yeah, like my answers are very basic, okay? Very basic. So yes, money follows value. So then the question you need to then ask yourself is, what value do I bring to the world? Right? What value do you bring? That's what you then study. That's then who you know, what you have at home, except what value can you bring and serve people? And then when you bring value and you serve us, then what we do in exchange, we give you money. It's kind of that simple. What value do you bring? That's why you study and upgrade yourself. That's why you read books. That's why you learn stuff. What value do you bring? But there's something that took me a long time to learn and cost me probably 2 years. There's a huge difference between value and perception of value. Here's an example. So I had a songbook. I used to write poems and I performed poetry, right? So I was known, Nuguti, I kind of have an inkling for writing. But when I told my friends I've got a book, guess what my friend said? That's nice, man. Hey, well done, Fitz. Hey, you've got a book. Okay, I will bang market a bit. But then when the book was in exclusive books, it was, oh, you've got a book. Same book, same number of pages, same exact words, but I changed the perception of said book, right? So how can you add some perception in either when you go for interviews or when you're doing your business thing, right? First memory of money, I'll quickly share my first memory of money. In the workshop version, we meditate, we discuss it, people cry, kumbaya, it's beautiful, right? So my first memory of money was my mother, ngangihlala eMlazi, and kwakhona osweet, we used to call them osweet wamagundane, red sweets. They were small and pink, and they were about 10 cents. So I ran to my mother, I'm like, Mama, ngicela imali yokuthenga, and she lost it with me. It was probably close to month end. Yeah, she lost it with me, and she said to me, this is my money, and I work hard for my money. I grew up to be stingy and hardworking because my default memory is that it's my money and I work hard for my money, right? So when you are home, try to think, what's your first memory of money? Because 80% of people function from their first memory of money. And if you're not aware of it, you can't change it, right? So I've changed it now. So when she asks for a bag, my default setting of it's my money goes, ish, but you like this person, you know? So maybe she needs another bag for some reason. Because I don't know why women need so many bags, but it's fine. All right, so, and then your feelings and beliefs. Ngicela, please finish this with me. Money is the root of all? Hallelujah, bazalwane. We all know that verse, right? The Bible has over 2,000 verses about money. Over 2,000 verses. But we choose to only know that one. Right? And there's ones that are very positive. There are ones that are very positive. So, if you believe money is evil, should I go there? It's not moving. Please move it. Next slide. All right. So if money is evil, here's another question. Would money marry you? Would money marry you? For most people, money would never marry you. You think she's evil. You don't spend time with her, etc., etc. So think of money as a partner, as a spouse, as a girlfriend, as a boyfriend, as a whatever. And start spending time with her. I love football. Unfortunately, I support Kaizer Chiefs, but we are loyal, right? So I know there was a time I knew every Kaizer Chiefs player. I bought kickoff. I was playing football. I was in Nelly Made Natal in Durban, etc. But did that really benefit me? Yeah, I made some friends, etc., etc. So take that same thing and apply it to money, that kind of thinking, and be someone that's attractive and dateable to money. Okay, right? So this is a way of thinking that revolutionized my business. It changed everything in my business, right? So it's from a gentleman called Myron Golden. Please go to YouTube and watch Myron Golden. He's amazing if you want to be in business. Actually, just life, really, right? So this is what he argues. Implementation is the person that does the doing, doesn't pay much. It's the 4 levels of value. Remember, money follows value, and these are the 4 levels. Implementation is the person that then cleans or takes care of the hotel. does not pay much, right? And then unification is the supervisor. Yabo, supervisor is supervising. Okay, gets a bit better, but not really there yet. Communication, the person that actually communicates the essence and the ethos of this hotel. And that's why you want to come and book here, right? They get paid way more if they're good at what they do. And then imagination, also known as thinking, strategic thinking. Executives get paid the most. They now imagine where the next hotel could be. So let's say the first hotel is in Val. Executives would imagine the next hotel being in Durban, and they get paid the most. So ask yourself, which level are you operating the most, right? Implementation was when I wrote this book, and that's just writing the book, right? But unification was when I got management, when I built a team around me. I have a publisher who got it into exclusive books, etc. And then I have affiliates that also sell the book. And then communication is communicating the message in the book, right? So I used to say, I teach financial education. You guys don't care. You don't care about that, do you? But I started saying, I change financial destinies. You started caring and started buying. And now it's a national bestseller. So that's why it's that. And then imagination is thinking differently. Where do books sell? In bookstores. No. 95% of my books have been sold to companies, libraries, schools, etc., etc. Imagine your skills, your business in a different setting. And it's amazing what you find because that setting doesn't know that conversation and they embrace you. Thank you for your time. I hope you got some value.
All right. A round of applause once again for Mr. Mlamle Mbambo. So, throughout the day, I'll be giving out also his book called Winning the Money Game. So, just be on the lookout. We're going to be having interesting, conversations so that we go and you all get the book. And do you guys read a lot? Or litlonka buka and then that's just it? I think I should be asking you, what books have you read? And don't come here with Maru, ne? No Maru, no Julius Caesar, no, please. Just want to see if people are, mental active. All right, so with that being said, announcement for today. ABSA is calling all business people, right, throughout the day for enterprise development forms. So all business people, ABSA is saying to you, there are forms available for enterprise development, all right? So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call once again Mr. Vincent Jones. Please to come through on stage. Round of applause.
Oh, Siyabonga Mbambo mfowethu. Thank you so much. And thank you for personal stories, personal journey shared with all of us. Please, once again, let's give him a round of applause. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to present to you a Deputy Minister of Tourism. Is a man with struggle credentials. He comes from Mpumalanga. I will ask him to tell us as an MEC the portfolios that he did not occupy. Because you look at his bio, he has occupied almost every portfolio in Mpumalanga. That talks about experience and passion. One of the Deputy Minister Hakena Hotwe Fish. That's just his beautiful name. Deputy Minister Fish Mahlalela. He's here with us. He's a deputy minister, And having served Mpumalanga in different portfolios as MEC, became a member of parliament, became the chairperson of portfolio committees, and also became the deputy minister of tourism. Don't be afraid to start at the bottom, okay? It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. And it's good to grow within the ranks. And he is an example of that. Please let us give a very thunderous and welcome to Deputy Minister Fish Matlalela. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Let me take this opportunity to extend my greetings to the program director, to the leadership of the Empower Youth, to the MMCs present here, councillors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Well, before I start my presentation, I would like to just interact with you on few things, so that when I start talking about what I want to present, I have an understanding that we were on the same page, so that I don't fly in the sky alone. I fly with you, all of you. As introduced, I'm responsible for tourism in South Africa. And I want to talk about tourism. But before I do that, there are 3 categories of tourism. Who knows what are those 3? 3 categories of tourism. Yes, sir.
Okay, morning everyone. It's local, provincial, and national.
No, those are the department, those are the levels or the spheres of government. That is national, provincial, and local. Those are the spheres. I want the categories of tourism. You see, I was going to talk alone, you see.
Dumelang hape. Kopa potela hodimo. It's transport, accommodation, and leisure.
Those are the value chains of tourism. They are not categories, are value chains. Those are value chains. Well, the categories of tourism is domestic tourism. That is, as South Africans traveling within South Africa, that is called domestic tourism. Then there is inbound tourism. Inbound is when somebody from UK, from America, whatsoever, or from Mozambique, or from Nigeria, from Ghana, comes to South Africa. That is called inbound. Then the third one is outbound. Outbound is when you leave South Africa, you go to Botswana, you go to Zambia, you go to UK. That is outbound. While I'm explaining all of this is because we need to understand what is it that makes tourism grow between the 3. What makes tourism to grow is the inbound, because we need more tourists coming to South Africa, because when they do that, they come with a lot of dollars, a lot of euros. And that becomes investment in South Africa. And then it contributes to the growth of the economy. It contributes towards job creations. And then domestic tourism also sustain the local market. Because if more South Africans are traveling, then the tourism business gets sustained. Because if you recall, when we had COVID, the entire system of tourism as a sector nearly collapsed. Because international tourists, that is inbound tourists, were not allowed to come to South Africa. But the other problem was that the domestic market, that is the domestic tourism, which is supposed to sustain the market locally, the majority of South Africans are not travelers. So they are not traveling. I can just ask us a few questions. How many of you has ever gone to Kruger National Park? You see, very few. How many of you have ever gone to Ismangaliso? Ismangaliso. You see, omunye uthi, where is that? You see, Ismangaliso is one of the World Heritage Sites in KZN. In the northern sides of KZN, in a popular name called South Africa. Yeah, so Kamhlabi, that's where Ismangaliso wetland is located. It's one of the most beautiful tourist attractions that you can ever find anywhere in the world. You can only find it in KZN. So the challenge that we have is that most of our local people are not traveling. And because they're not traveling, so tourism is then dependent on the inbound for it to sustain itself. It depends on foreigners to come to South Africa. It doesn't depend on local traveling, which is something, therefore, that we want to encourage more South Africans to travel in order to sustain the industry, because it's South Africans that can make tourism succeed. It's not international market. Having understood these three, the last one that I want us to understand is the types of tourism. What types of tourism that exist? There are 8 types of tourism. Anyone who knows anyone of the 8? Yeah, what's this? Come again? Educational tourism. Closer. There's another one there. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Morning, everyone. There's cultural tourism.
Cultural tourism. Omunye. Medical tourism. Hey, wacabanga le complicated engadumio. That's not a popular one. No, thanks very much. You have got the most important tourism is business tourism. It's the most critical one because it creates jobs, it creates businesses. It enables any one of you to start a business in tourism. So business tourism is very critical. It's the one that is creating more jobs. It's the one that is creating more opportunities. So business tourism involves events, like the one that we are doing, but this one is not tourism because it's local. But you need events of this nature, where international people comes and do events here. So when they come to do events here, they will book accommodation, they will book they will book the venue. They will be able to then buy anything that the local sells around. Because it's uniquely, because they don't have it in their own countries. So when they leave, they will have left a lot of economic benefits to the locals. That's events. The second one is conferences, like this one. Conferences are very also important because international people comes and have conferences. And that leaves a lot of money in the area where the conference is taking place. The third one is exhibition, where various business, SMEs and everybody else come to one place and and exhibit the product. Like on the 13th of May to the 16th of May, we'll be having Africa Tourism in Daba, where more than 1,000 exhibitors will be converging at Inkosi Albert Ultul in KZN. And more than 900 buyers from Europe and America and everywhere will be coming. Then those that will be exhibiting and those that will be buyers. So will come and see what are you selling, what are you providing as an SME. They will then buy the products that you are exhibiting. Be it accommodation facility, they will then know that this is the best facility. When they come back, they want to come back to tour South Africa, they will then prioritize your facility to be the one that accommodates them. So that is called a exhibition. And then, so those are the things that is called business in tourism, which create lots of opportunities. So you can have your own event company. You can have your own catering company, because tourism is about food, which is called gastronomy tourism. So gastronomy tourism, it's about the type of the food that you sell, which is uniquely South Africans. Not just food that you rice and all of these. That is uniquely South Africans. Because when tourists come to South Africa, they don't want to eat the food that they normally eat. They don't want to drink what they normally drink. So the culinary must be different, so that they are able to then learn our own culture and understand how we live, how we eat, and all of that. So it's therefore important that we develop township tourism. Like what is done in Soweto. There is no tourist that comes to Gauteng that doesn't want to go to Soweto, because they've developed a brand, a tourism. They've got guest houses, they've got lodges, they've got B&Bs. So that's where tourists want to go and sleep. But when they come here at Val, where do they sleep? By a rivers, by in the established already accommodation facilities, because we have not developed a township tourism. We have not. And you do have a huge potential here to develop a township tourism, because you are rich in heritage, but you are not exploring it. You are the richest, in fact, after Zululand district. You are one of the richest in terms of heritage. But you are not using it that. You have not developed it. When I look at the IDP, at the LED of the municipality, you can't find anything about serious tourism. And tourism has got the potential to deal with this problem that I'm seeing here today of unemployment of young people. Tourism is the only one that can intervene in that problem, because it has got the potential to massively create jobs. It doesn't need people who have got masters and a doctrine and all of that, or even a degree. It just needs matric or a diploma or a certificate. That's what it needs for you firstly to be employed. Secondly, you can start your own business as young people. Because this thing of education is no, when you finish education, you must go and look for jobs. I mean, it's not sustainable. We must be able to become innovative as young people, create jobs, create businesses that will then create jobs for the rest. So that's what tourism is able to offer. To start a BNB, you don't need millions of rands. To start a BNB, you don't need that. We're also promoting what is called homestays. You can convert your own house and make it to be a homestay where tourists will come and stay with you in your family, because that's what they want. They want to see how you live, how you eat, how your culture, and all of that. You can only do that. So we're also promoting homestays where we coach you how to make a homestay to be easily accessible, easily usable. We also try to benchmark it, give you money to make it look like a facility that you can accommodate anybody, be decent. We also assist in that and make sure that you are also using it to make money. Then we've got leisure tourism as the second one. Leisure tourism, it's when people are coming to just for leisure, not for business. Nothing else. And then we've got shopping tourism. There are people who leave their countries, especially in Africa, just to come to South Africa to do shopping. And when they do show, they don't shop one day. They take 2 to 3 days shopping. And therefore, they will need accommodation. They will need food and all of that. Then we've got the one that has been mentioned, cultural tourism. When tourists come to South Africa, they want to experience our culture. That's what they want to do. Because it is something that they don't know. They don't have it in their own country. Then sports tourism, that one is mentioned. We've not been exploring sports tourism. For example, when Chiefs and Pirates plays, there is thousands of people that comes to Gauteng. Are we exploring it as Gauteng? No, we're not exploring it. Because we must create activities that will start on Friday. So that they come on Friday, spend money on Friday, sleep, go to the match on Saturday. After Saturday, we create activities for them after the match. Labadliwile bakwazi ukuthobeka endaweni ethize bafike bathobeke, labawinile baye endaweni ethize bayo enjoy abajabule, and then they sleep, then they go on Sunday. So you'll have created opportunities for yourself, but we're not exploring that as Gauteng. Pirates and Chiefs are teams that are not just popular in South Africa. They are popular in the whole of SADC. I've traveled all the SADC countries. I've stayed to them. I stay in those countries when I was in exile. So when Pirates and Chiefs are playing, in all the shebeens around SADC, they gather together. Some traveled from their own countries to come to watch Pirates and Chiefs. But we're not exploring that from a tourism point of view as part of sports tourism. You see, Spain is number 2 in terms of tourist attractions in the world because of Barcelona and Madrid. As they were playing last Saturday, the whole of the world was in Madrid, just for the soccer. Then we have got what is called rural tourism. Rural tourism is important because most of our tourist attractions are in the rural areas. your Kruger National Park, your Simangaliso that I spoke about, your Mapunguzwe in Limpopo. So all of them, they are in the rural areas. So you need to make sure that then how do you sustain that rural tourism and make sure that the people in the rural areas benefit. Then we've got township tourism. We're not like what Soweto is doing. It's only Soweto and the township in the East London, what do you call it, that is using township tourism. Umlazi, Umlazi, yes, in Durban, yes. Is coming up, but not to the extent that one would have expected it. In Langa, in Western Cape, and also Khayelitsha to some extent. But they have not reached the stage of Soweto. They have not reached the stage of Soweto. So it's important. Nobody can do that. There's nobody who will come from government. There's nobody who will come from Europe to make your township tourism work. It's yourself, especially you young people. It's yourself who can change and make your townships to be vibrant, to be attractive to tourists. So these are the types of tourism that I wanted to share with you. Well, coming to what I'm supposed to do, I'm not going to do everything that I've been written here, because kuna somebody opalile and opalinte ngafuni. So what I want to raise with you is that tourism is one of the key economic sector of South Africa and in the world. Tourism is the one that drives growth. Because if you want to grow the economy, it can only grow if you have got a vibrant tourism economic in your country. There are countries that just survive on tourism because it creates lots of value chain. Western Cape or Cape Town has got the lowest rate of unemployment because of tourism. There's no mines there, there's nothing. The only thing that they have is tourism. And as a result, it then enables them to create more opportunities, more jobs, and grow the economy of Cape Town, which is very important. Tourism has got what is called value chain. 10 tourists, when they come to South Africa, it creates 1 jobs. So we've got an annual of about 10 million tourists that are coming to South Africa. Yes, that's 10 million. So how many jobs? We're sitting at about 750,000 permanent jobs in the tourism industry. When you look at the value chain, when you add the value chain, it's about 1.7 million jobs that are as a result of tourism. And there is no economic sector in South Africa that is closer to tourism in terms of employment opportunities. Even the mines are not closer. Because the second one is the mines. And it's not even closer. The mines are employing about 500 and something thousand. That's what the mines employ. But tourism, when you choke the direct and indirect, it's about 1.7 million. So that's the type of employment that we are creating. And we want to grow tourism by 2030. We had a target of about 15 million arrival, with an opportunity of job creations of an additional 1.8 million from what we have now. But the challenge that we are having, the study indicates that we have a potential to reach that 15 million. But the problem will be, 1, accommodation facilities. We're not coping now. When you look for accommodation, you struggle now in South Africa. Secondly, will be your transport. Thirdly, unless we resolve the issue of load shedding, it will load shedding. Fourthly will be your infrastructure, your roads. When I was driving here, I've seen a lot of old MMCs. Your water and sewage systems, your access in terms of ICTs. So those are the things that we must work on, so that by the time we reach 15 million, we are able to have sufficient accommodations, which means we must encourage more young people to enter the industry. There will be more opportunities for employment. But we don't want just to look at employment. We want you young people to start your own business on the tourism sector. We've got funding. In the department, we've got 2 types of funding. No, 3. One is Tourism Transformation Fund. If you have got a smaller business of tourism and you want to expand it, we're able to give you up to 5 million grant. Not loan, grant, yes. We're able to give you up to 5 million grant for you to expand your tourism business that you have. Then we've got a tourism equity fund where you can buy equity. Where you can buy equity at the existing establishment. We can give you a grant of up to 20 million rand for you to buy an equity. We can, so that fund is 80% for equity, 20% you start your own business. And we give you that 20 million as a grant to go and start your own business. What is important, therefore, is that we must be able to utilize this, and the focus, that money that the Tourism Equity Fund is meant for youth, women, and people with disability. Any other person who doesn't fall in that category doesn't benefit out of that money. You must be a woman, you must be a youth, you must be a person with disability. Then we give you up to 20 million to go and buy an equity. What are the things that is a hotel? You can buy a lodge, you can buy a standalone restaurant, you can buy a traveling agent or buy some equity in a traveling agent. So you can buy backpackers and all of that. So that's what we are providing. And we've already started to receive applications. We're processing them, but it's still open, it's not closed. So if you want to buy equity, you can do that. We've got the third one, which is SME support program. Jongoba sine exhibition at Tegwin on the 13th. We're funding 120 SMEs throughout the country. We pay them traveling, accommodation, and everything else for them just to go and exhibit their product. We also take them when there are trade shows in abroad, in Europe or in America. We take them, pay for them everything, for them to go and sell their businesses. That's the type of the work that we are doing. So we've got trainings as well for youth. We're training young people on food and beverages. Yabona Njinai food and beverages there. We're training young people to be tour operators. We're training young people to be chefs. We're training young people to be hospitality. We're training people to be also deal with wine tasting and wine, because the wine service ungayifundeli, ungazi ne taste yayo, ungazi nokuthi ithelwa kanjani, itastwa kanjani. So we go and train you for that, and then you are then able to come and work in the restaurant, in the hotels, and be able to serve wine. We also train you how to to have a coffee business and how to serve coffee. Because coffee you don't serve like tea, you serve it differently. So there's a skill to serve coffee and to make it. So we train you that as well. And then most of those that we train, they come back and start their own coffee business shop. And we fund them for that as well. So those are type of the training that we provide. And it's very critical, therefore, that young people must be able to access. We always advertise in the newspapers for young people to apply so that we then consider them. What I will advise you young people is that please love the website of the Department of Tourism. Love it. Visit it from time to time. You will see what opportunities are there. And most of our opportunities are for young people, nothing else. It's for many, it's young people. That's why whenever we've got imbizo, older people are always complaining. Ukusibona bazosebenza kuphi because thina asibafuni. Yabo, uzofundisa umuntu omdala uzomfundela ukuthenzeni umuntu omdala. We teach young people because we are building for the future. Because the future rests with you, doesn't rest with us. Our days are numbered, but you still have a long way to go. You must build this country, you must build your future, and make sure that at the end of the day, we build this prosperous country and become the best country in the world. Thank you very much.
1, 2. Thank you very much. Like you guys said earlier on before, you said fish. One more time. Deputy Minister for Department of Tourism, Mr. Fishma Lahlela. So with that being said, please, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call Mr. Fred Mahatu, CEO of FASA. And don't forget that APSA throughout the day, right, guys? You can go for your ED development forms. If you are a business person, APSA, throughout the day, they'll be helping you, get those forms outside, right? Nisase right. Ngikatri nali akusahambi kahle. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so I would like to continue with the program, please. So I had an honor of attending this beautiful, we're still continuing. Ladies and gentlemen, for the last time, please welcome CEO of FASA, Mr. Fred Mahatu. A round of applause, please.
Mornings, business people. I know I'm talking to business people. Either you haven't started the business as yet, but you are an entrepreneur. All businesses are started with an idea, right? Not all businesses begin with funding, okay? I know the majority of you think businesses start with funding. They are not. They start with an idea. And you prepare the proposal, you think about it, you want to present it to somebody, they reject you 100 times, you don't lose the oomph, the energy. One day you break through and you tell your story. Okay? I was introduced as the CEO of FASA. FASA is Franchise Association of South Africa. If you don't know about it, write it down. Franchise Association of South Africa. Because you're gonna need that. You may be a comedian, that will be your business, it will bring you money, right? But then you're gonna need to Google what is Franchise Association of South Africa, because it's gonna help you how to grow your business. It is one of the best models in the world of how to grow a business. If you haven't heard of franchising, it's your first time to hear about franchising, I've been traveling the country widely to pass the message to our people that have been exposed to this model that I think it will help our entrepreneurs to sustain and grow their businesses. How does franchising work? I've been given only 15 minutes, so I'm gonna be quick, right? Franchising is when you have started your business and you want to grow it. And as you know, some of the businesses, they have branches. If you go to some of the townships, you'll see a branch there, you'll see a branch there, and all the stuff. That is a strategy of growing a business. But I'm not in favor of branches because it's costly in terms of human resource, in terms of costs of leasing the properties, in terms of staff, in terms of electricity, water, and so forth. Franchising helps you to alleviate those costs. Because all what you do is that you take your business, your intellectual property, and you say to somebody, license it from me. Or somebody comes to you and say, what you are doing is so nice, I want to own it. And then you give them the right to use your intellectual property. In most cases, when we are on TV, we'll say IP. And some, they don't understand what is IP. It's intellectual property. I'll give you a license to use my intellectual property, the branding, the know-how, the signage, and the secrets of how I prepare my soup or my chicken. And as you know, KFC worldwide, no one knows what comprises of their spice, because that is their secret. Then, in terms of that, then you and I will sign a franchise agreement of how are we going to work and how are you going to protect my assets. Then we have what we call the disclosure document. Very important. I'm telling you this so that when you go to our website, you will understand the information. The disclosure document tells the one who buys into your business how you operate your business, how much you are making, how much you stock, what are the losses, and what are the gains. Then we have what we call the operations manual. This is the third document. The operations manual tells you how you prepare your food, how you stock, how you clean your shop, how you welcome staff, and how you portion either your offerings. But I think today I just want to talk to you about what is it that you need to do in order to have your business franchised and grow. You have to at least have operated for 3 years. Then you know that your business is working. Most businesses close at the first 3 years. Right? By the time your business is 3 years old, then you will have known the challenges, you will have identified the strength, you will have identified growth opportunities, you will have identified markets. Then we encourage you to open at least a second corporate store or site so that it gives you the skill to manage other business from where you are. Because for you to be able to manage franchisees who will buy into your business, you need to have that skill. You don't just give your business to somebody, you fold arms and you expect money. You still have to manage them, okay? So we can say you need to police them. Then once you do that, you approach us and say, I think I need to franchise my business. Then we will connect you with a consultant or a mentor or a coach. We'll take you through the process of how to franchise your business. There are so many businesses that operate in the townships, and they are doing well, but they don't grow. Because we tend to have this one-man show thing. This is my business. I don't want to show anyone my secret. I don't want my neighbors to know how I make money. Right? But if you look at these brands that you go to on Fridays, I'm gonna name them because they are our members. We have KFC. That company started in the US, but now it's got branches even here. And they don't even know that there is somewhere in the world. But we go to KFC almost every day. That is a family business. They didn't hide it, that we don't want anyone to know how we do our chicken. We have McDonald's. It's an American business. We buy their burgers almost every day, and now we even buy coffee from them. But we have our own Riri coffees, right? But we want to have a nice breakfast. They didn't say we don't want anyone to know how we prepare the burgers. They sold the franchise, and now they are worldwide. They are one of the biggest brands in the world. Now you have all these brands that are coming through because we are consumers. We cannot form our own businesses that we can actually franchise. So I want you today, when you go home, to go to our website, think about the business that you have if you want to franchise it. I usually say that you work for the business for 3 years, but the business should work for you thereafter. Right? The grandchildren of the founders of KFC now, they are reaping the benefits because their grandfathers, they started the business. I know some of you think franchise is more about food. Go to the website. You will see how many franchises we have. 14 sectors, including water. So you know now you can buy water, right? From a shop. It's no longer a question of you going to the tap, open it and drink it. Now we even think that the water that comes from our tap is not drinkable because we think you should drink Valpre or Aquele or Oasis. You go to Oasis and own a shop to sell water. How about that? Tires. Hair. So you know, Legends Baba is one of our members. I mean, if you ask Ububuji here, he will tell you that I prefer to go to Legends Baba. And what do they sell? Service, not haircut. It's how they talk to you, how they approach you, how you feel at home. And you go there, you pay 200 rand to have your hair cut. But you can actually buy a hair clipper from Clicks and have your hair cut. But there is something that they add to cutting your hair, right? So I want you to look at the businesses that you want to start. I want you to look at the business that you own and think about how you can grow it. I think I've got 3 minutes or so, right? My gripe, and these guys, I cannot sleep at night knowing that our people start businesses and die with them. When you die, your business dies. This breaks my heart because I come from a background where I've seen families that have strong businesses in the townships. When the father dies, the business dies. And the reason being, we don't have succession plans in the businesses. We always think that what we do is difficult for our children to do. We always encourage our children to find easy jobs. My lie. We always tell our children, you cannot do this because it's too hard. I want you to live better. When you start your businesses, please take this home. When you start your businesses or you are in business, involve your parents, involve your partners who are married, not boyfriends and girlfriends, unless if you intend to marry. Involve your children from young age. When you involve your child in any business that you do from the age of 5, you teach them what you do. After school, you show them. When they are 10 years old, They are experts in the business. Other race, colors do that. You can look at the Indians. Then you can look at the Jews. They teach their children the businesses from 5 years old. When that child is 15 years old, he's been having 10 years in the business. When he goes to school, he will do the course that is aligned to the business that he knows because he's got the necessary skills. When he goes to university, he perfects the family business, understanding that when the parents started the business 20 years ago, the environment was different. Then they improved the businesses. So I want you to involve your children, no matter how small they are, into your businesses. When you call me and you want to franchise your business, I want you to come with your child. I went to these talks. I can tell you that one of the entrepreneurs actually came with their daughter to an expo at the Senton Convention Center. And that child was 8 years old. You know what does that do to that child? That environment opens the child's mind. That there are businesses out here that are making money, that I can actually thrive. From that age, from 8 years old, that child is attending expos. 5 years down the line, that child will know some of the business people in there that she can actually connect. If she has ideas, she will know who to call and how to call. For that, I thank you.
Thank you so much. A round of applause once again, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Fred Mahato, CEO of FASA. So we all talk about growth, right? When we talk about our Motolum savings, we all want to see ourselves in bigger positions. So I had a pleasure of attending this event with WR and I was quite impressed. You know, Batoba Fitanko Shopong, someone was a packer, almost fit, and then 5 years down the line, they're now the store manager. You're like, how does that even happen? I was sitting there, I witnessed that, and I realized that just because someone is a cashier or works in a or does something called retail does not mean that it's going to end there. They can go far bigger and beyond. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call Sir Jeffrey Nene Gauteng, South Provincial Manager of WR A round of applause, please.
Thank you, sir. I have already been warned that we already have time constraints. So because of that, then allow me not to be taken away and just concentrate on my script. Am I allowed? Am I allowed? All right. And also, so that the program director does not intimidate me by standing just behind me if I'm getting carried away. All right, program director, CEO of EmpowaYouth, Mr. Simpiwe Masiza, all captains of different industries present here, all organizers and project managers of this magnificent event, entrepreneurs present here today, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. Henry Ford once said, anyone who stops learning is old. Whether at 20 or 80, anyone who keeps learning stays young. The greatest thing in life is to keep your mind young. It is with great pleasure and honor to be invited to this address and give this address to you in this august event. It is also exciting to see so many young people gathered here today in quest of knowledge and opportunities for their betterment. Program Director, EmpowaYouth has been implementing these prolific events on an annual basis, and the WNR in many occasions partnered with them because the work that they do impacts positively on youth, giving them various opportunities and access to many employers in all sectors, as well as funders for emerging businesses. The WNR SETA is one of the 21 SETAs established in terms of the Skills Development Act 97 of 1998, with the sole mandate to identify skills and training needs in each sector, accredit training providers, and oversee implementation of skills development through distribution of mandatory and discretionary grants to both levy payers as well as non-levy payers, which includes TVETs, HETs. TVETs are our colleges, HETs our universities, and also CETs, which are our community colleges. Professor P. Inzimande of Higher Education, Science and Innovation is always making this clarion call to all SETAs to work with employers and make the workplace the training space, which is exactly what our programs do. Given the economic climate in our country, I will focus more on entrepreneurship programs because we need to skill young people such that they are able to establish own businesses and employ more people in those businesses than training to be employed. South Africa topped the list of 20 countries with the highest rate of unemployment. According to Stats SA 2024, we are at least sitting at 32.1%, with youth or young people at 44.1%. If you take the population of South Africa, it's almost 20 million of people that are actually not employed. These stats are then testament to the fact that unless something drastic happens, our situation will remain dire and unfavorable for any growth. The only way out is to create a pool of relevant skills, including artisans, establish more businesses, and support them so that the country thrives economically. The focus on entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs, according to The Economist, in many countries matters most in economic development and growth. This is according to X, Osho, and ZEP in their document in 2014. Yet we see very little activity and efforts towards the realization of this term. Small businesses are indeed the vein of our economy, and the research continually points us to that direction, as it reveals that they are the catalyst for growth and job creation. The recent COVID-19 pandemic, not also withstanding the global economic meltdown that we experienced way back in 2009, impacted hugely on small businesses, and those that managed to hang in there are currently in fight for survival. Though we know that there are many initiatives implemented by our government through small business development initiatives implemented by the government through its agencies, led by Minister Stella Ndabeni-Abrams, and those that Minister Mahlalela and Minister Parkstow shared with us earlier on, looking into this particular area as well. It goes a long way in the provision of relevant skills and grants to see them through. These initiatives, of course, cannot exclude the sterling work that we have seen in the past done by Mr. Masiza and his team, together with many other partners through EmpowaWorks. However, the truth is that they still face many challenges that in most instances threatens their existence. Some of these challenges include easy access to funding, coaching and mentoring, despite many other social challenges that such gatherings should tackle and win. This includes issues of women emancipation. These days we're even talking about femicide, and aligning their ability to do better compared to men in entrepreneurship skills. This is according to Jennifer Cohen in his 2010 article. We therefore extend our heartfelt gratitude to this continued relationship and gathering of this nature, where we link youth with SETAs employers, and possible funders to propel entrepreneurs forward. Such gathering has become an enabling environment to many entrepreneurs who still aspire to grow and reach better heights, as well as those looking for opportunities so that they may be able to establish own businesses. More importantly for us, though, is to see meaningful growth for existing entities so that small businesses do not remain small. When we are talking about emerging businesses, maybe it's time that incubator approach should be strengthened, because failures in small business, on the other hand, is because there is no one hand holding entrepreneurs until they are able to find their own way or stand on their own feet. The WNR-SETA, in its quest to professionalize the sector, is not leaving SMMEs and entrepreneurs in the cold. We have various programs designed to achieve their furtherance, and we engage and enroll over 3,000 SMMEs annually, excluding further program assisting informal traders, which also exceeds the same number on annual basis, where we spend over 1 billion rand in our skills development initiatives. So 1 billion rand is a lot of money. So you can also benefit from those if you engage with various SETAs, including WNR-SETA. Our skills intervention that I'm alluding to includes programs like learnership programs, skills programs, occupational qualifications, graduate placements, ITAMET programs, entrepreneurs development programs, bursaries, and flagship projects like retail management development programs, which is for junior managers who are already employed, who aspire to grow in their careers in the sector, and also international leadership development program, which is also for senior managers that aspire to grow their careers as well. Some of these programs provide basic information that will help an emerging business owner to stand on their own. This includes issues of customer service, basic health and safety issues, food handling, merchandising, and proper accounting. Because such basic things move one from one level to the next. Recently, the WNR-SETA graduated more than 100 informal traders. So if you are still informal, don't think you are lost. You can still find assistance through us and then go a long way. We assisted 100 informal traders from all provinces who were previously beneficiaries on our AFOSET programs and were taken through a special program in collaboration with Zentech University in Kenya, as well as Wits University. Through these immersions, we witnessed a huge growth and mentality shift in their approach to operations, especially in the inclusions of technology in their delivery model to improve efficiency, customer satisfaction, and retention, which is key to any business. I therefore have no doubt that these entrepreneurs exposed at this level will spread their wings soon and become big businesses, as per the slogan of that day when we met with them, where the slogan was, small businesses are big businesses. This was a kind of a WSETA flagship program for these entrepreneurs who are currently informal but has taken a giant step to formalize them. Looking in some of the pillars of the SETA mandate, it includes, among others, skilling unemployed youth, of which some of you will align to it. Also includes youth that we call NEET, which are not employed, not in education, and not in any training. We also speak about reskilling and upskilling of employed people. In other words, we're saying even those that are already employed, SETAs are there to provide these opportunities so that if you have got your own small business, and you have employed those few people that you would have employed, but you need to engage with SETAs, especially wholesale and retail SETA, so that you can be able to upskill them and reskill them if the need be. But further to that, another pillar as well, I'm just touching on a few of them because of time constraints, supporting and skilling of SMMEs, which is then talking to some of the programs that I've spoken to. But some other programs as well include assisting cooperatives as well as NGOs. So if you are running a small NGO or a cooperative, you can be, and you are in retail. Remember, there are 21 SETAs, as I alluded earlier on, but we are specifically focusing on wholesale and retail. There are other SETAs that are focusing on other different sectors. So in other words, don't feel lost if you are having a small business or you intend starting a small business and you are not in retail. You still have an opportunity to engage with those SETAs so that you get similar kind of programs, because we are all entities of the same department, you know, so whatever we do in this SETA, they also do in other sectors. The aforesaid programs are rolled out on annual basis in line with our APP and SLA with the department, but the impact thereof should mostly be felt by young people. It is in this context, Program Director, that this partnership then with the EmpowaWorks will continue to provide better results that are meaningful to the youth, as it has done in the past. I want you to draw strength from the fact that you will be sharing ideas from what I've just listened to earlier on in the morning. I've just heard a lot, so let alone from the inspiration from Abna Mariri earlier on, but from Deputy Minister Pakstow to Deputy Minister Matlalela, you know, all these opportunities are there for you to make sure that at least when you start the business or you're already in any kind of business, at least you have got a direction. The WNR SETA and other SETAs as well work with the Department of Basic Education in implementing career guidance programs initiative, because it becomes problematic for someone who finishes matric and still has not decided of the career that he wants to take or he wishes to take. That, on the other hand, is just suicidal and leads to many troubles from which many fails to recover. So do not land in that space. We wish all young people present here today the best in their quest for economic inclusion, and also pray that the divine wisdom upon them be with them as they make choices that will brighten their future to transform this country. You are the hope, you are the future. Ladies and gentlemen, be open-minded, and utilize this week to network, for through networking, your success lies. It connects people with ideas and opportunities for now or for future. Learn and collect more information as much as you can from each other, from other trailblazers that are already here, and leaders like the one that just presented, the CEO of FASA. Those are the areas that you just need to look into. But what is more important is that for the capacity to learn is just but a gift. Ability to learn is a skill, but willingness to learn is a choice. So you must make the right choice. As they say, you need others to walk the longest journey. In conclusion, Program Director, allow me then to leave you with these few words said by Puti Mahanyele Tabengwa, who is the CEO of NASPAS, who said, "It is important to have the best work ethic, that you are applying yourself as much as possible, and that you are not dependent on what others can do for you, but you are focused on what you can do." Those are the words by Puti Mahanyele. These words are applicable to you, whether you are an employee, whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are just a business person in whatever sort. In most cases, people get opportunities and lose them because they fail to seize the moment and apply themselves accordingly. Remember, opportunities always come in this fashion, in this manner. You just need to make sure that you listen, you write down, then follow that up, so that at the end of the day, you can be able to say, I heard so and so saying this, I just want to make follow up so that I can be able to be somewhere one day. These opportunities don't come looking nicely sometimes. They come with overalls and then people miss them. So as you are gathered here today and throughout this week, don't miss these opportunities. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much. Thank you, Program Director. You did not intimidate me at all.
A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Sir Jeffrey Nene, Gauteng South Provincial Manager, WR Sita. Thank you so much. Hope you all inspired.